It's been 48 hours since the FBI raided the home of Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, along with at least 2 other locations, and the mayor is nowhere to be seen.
We still don't know exactly what the FBI was looking for. Yesterday, we heard the mayor's side of the story, sort of. She did hire an attorney, former prosecutor Tony Brass. He suggested that there is no evidence that Thao is actually the target of the FBI investigation, and that she had no idea it was even happening.
So in this video today, we're going to be diving back to Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao and some of the pay-for-play schemes described by a former staffer, spilling all the information about how she is just being extremely corrupt. It's pretty sad when you're not running the city properly. Oakland is in tons of trouble, tons of crime, financial issues, people are leaving, and on top of that, you're corrupt as well. But first, we're going to check out a story of Sheng Thao allegedly screwing over a small business owner while she was running for mayor. Let's get into it. So I want to set this up here. This story has a little bit of everything: corrupt politics, bounce checks, and federal investigations. So it starts with this guy named Johnson. He runs a small mail agency. Now, his business usually gets a nice boost during election years because of all the political ads that he prints. He doesn't care about the politics himself. He just wants to do a good job for whoever hires him. But the problem is he did some work for Sheng Thao, and, well, let's just run the video.
Oakland's mayor back in public today for the first time since speaking out about the FBI raid on her own home. So Thao was at a meeting of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, this happening in San Francisco, where they voted to put a $20 billion bond on the measure on the November ballot to boost affordable housing around the Bay Area. But our crew says that Thao left in the middle of the meeting without her belongings, which her aide had to come back to get. Thao refused to speak.
That's weird. What's going on? I mean, you already have a lot going on. FBI is raiding your place, your business with very shady business people is being exposed, and you're trying to get back in the flow of things, and you run out of a meeting without telling anyone. I mean, remember, you're still a mayor. You still have to have some level of transparency, and you run out without your things. I mean, maybe it's an emergency. Who knows? But obviously, it's just a continuing pattern of shady behavior by Sheng Thao.
To the media today. So the FBI is also remaining tight-lipped nearly a week after the raids on the mayor's home and 3 other properties in Oakland connected to the politically influential Duong family and their recycling company, California Waste Solutions. The IRS and U.S. Postal Inspection Service were also involved in at least one of the raids. While the Postal Inspection Service has declined to comment, it is common knowledge the agency investigates crimes like mail fraud. And now our Dahlin has uncovered the U.S. Postal Service that it's owed tens of thousands of dollars after delivering campaign mailers aimed at benefiting Thao when she was running for mayor.
Uh-oh. Mail fraud? Federal crimes? That's why the FBI is there? And you mess with the USPS? I mean, they kind of suck, but still, mail fraud is bad.
Election years bring good business to this direct mailing agency, but owner Shamari Johnson says he doesn't care much about politics.
We're here just to provide a service, to do a good job. Republicans, Democrats, we don't show any political favors.
Over the years, Johnson has printed all kinds of political ads, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But one particular job almost cost him his livelihood.
It's been very heartbreaking, very disturbing, very emotional.
Johnson says a couple of weeks before the November 2022 general election, this man, Mario Juarez, a longtime customer, contracted him to print roughly 170,000 attack mailers targeting Oakland mayoral candidates Ignacio De La Fuente and Lauren Taylor. Johnson says the attack ads went out about 1 week before the election. He says Juarez paid him about $31,000 for his service and gave him 3 checks to pay the U.S. Postal Service for the postage. After the mailers went out, all 3 checks bounced, totaling more than $53,000. Johnson says with interest, Juarez now owes the U.S. government roughly $60,000.
Okay, so let's take a step back in case you guys are still trying to figure out all this nonsense. So Johnson took a job that basically almost wrecked his entire business. He was asked to print around 170,000 pieces of mail. That was just attack ads, basic political attack ads aimed at some of political opponents. that were running against Sheng Thao for mayor. Johnson got paid $31,000 for his work. Everything seems fine until those 3 checks to cover the postage costs bounce. And this longtime customer just didn't figure out how to get the money. So imagine Johnson's shock when he found out that he was on the hook for all this money. Now with the interest, they said the amount he owes is around $60,000. And to make matters worse, his business permit got suspended.
The USPS put a postal stop on my business direct mail permit.
He says his permit remains suspended. The mailer says it's funded by Mario Juarez and his independent expenditure, or IE account called California Forward Now. We checked to see who donated money to the IE account, but it doesn't appear Juarez filed any paperwork to identify the donors, which is required by campaign financing laws.
More corrupt behavior. And you're screwing over a small business owner in the process.
Birthday party.
Renea Webb says she knows who paid for it. Webb served as Thao's chief of staff when Thao was the District 4 council member.
We are going to dive into what she has to say because she describes a lot of the pay-for-play nonsense, the pay-for-play schemes that Sheng Thao was involved in later in this video.
Webb also volunteered on Thao's mayoral campaign, but Webb resigned from Thao's office after Thao won the election, citing concerns over public corruption. We did an extensive report on Webb's pay-to-play allegations against the mayor and her boyfriend last week.
The post office is involved with this investigation because it was the mail fraud with them using the funding to get those flyers sent out.
Webb says Andy Duong of California Waste Solutions was backing Thao for mayor. Webb claims Duong was paying Juarez to attack Thao's chief rivals, De La Fuente and Taylor. She recalled one meeting between Thao, Duong, and Juarez at a Jack London Square restaurant.
Andy was like, yeah, I need to talk to you about something. And Mario was like, yeah, I need some more money. That was his exact words. And he and Sheng and Mario went off to the corner, like right outside of Seabreeze, where the like Jack London little places, and they stood right there and talked for maybe like 15 minutes. And yeah, I know that they're not supposed to be doing that. During campaigns, the campaign and that account are never supposed to work together.
This is why this entire mess caught the attention of the FBI, IRS, and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. This is potential mail fraud and other nonsense related to the campaign financing. So the mail was funded by an independent account called California Forward Now. Problem is, there's a lot of sketchy stuff because he didn't file, this Juarez dude did not file the necessary paperwork to disclose who was behind the funding. Sounds like they're trying to hide it. So Andy Duong was backing Thao and allegedly paying Juarez illegally to create these attack ads. Webb even remembers the meeting when Juarez blatantly asked Duong for more money, which is not supposed to be happening because campaigns and independent groups are supposed to be totally separated. So now the USPS is involved because they got stiffed on the postage money and the checks were bouncing around all over the place. It looks like mail fraud. So the FBI hasn't officially accused Thao or Juarez of any wrongdoing. However, Juarez was charged with a felony for pushing those bad checks. And usually what happens is people start snitching. So we'll see what happens there. But at the same time, Johnson, with his small business, it sucks. He's just trying to make a living, and he's caught up in the huge scandal dealing with a bunch of shady pieces of crap.
Ben Johnson believed the unpaid postage or the mailers could be one reason why the U.S. Postal Inspection Service was involved in last week's raid.
I can't speak to the U.S. Postal Service investigation, but what I can say is that to stiff a small business based in Oakland, a black-owned business, out of $60,000 is shameful.
The U.S. Postal Inspection Service deferred all questions to the FBI, which has declined to comment on the raids. FBI investigators have not accused Thao, Duong, or Juarez of any wrongdoing. But the Alameda County District Attorney charged Juarez with one count of felony for passing bad checks.
Okay, now we're going to get into the pay-for-play scheme that was described by Webb, a former chief of staff member. So she quit because she couldn't stand the corruption. She knew even when Sheng Thao became mayor that this was going to go the way it's probably going right now, that she saw a lot of blatant corruption. So we're going to go, and this video here talks, she speaks extensively about how the whole scheme came about. So let's get into it.
It's been 48 hours since the FBI raided the home of Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, along with at least 2 other locations. A former chief of staff for Thao believes she should resign following the raid at her home. Agents interviewed her about a year ago. While the FBI hasn't linked Mayor Thao to any kind of wrongdoing, the former confidant of the mayor spoke out.
Renea Webb worked closely with and had access to Sheng Thao that few people had for a year and 4 months. Webb served as Thao's right-hand person, working as chief of staff when Thao was the District 4 council member. Webb says she volunteered and spent countless hours on Thao's mayoral campaign in 2022. She says she also led Thao's transition team after Thao won the election.
A lot of what's coming out now is the reason I resigned shortly thereafter winning the election.
She was more sad than surprised about FBI agents raiding Thao's home on Thursday.
I wasn't surprised. I was like, finally the truth is coming out.
Webb accuses Thao's boyfriend, Andre Jones, of being the mastermind and running pay-to-play schemes during Thao's campaign for mayor and after she won.
What is it about people and their boyfriends or girlfriends just making things harder? This sounds very familiar to another mayor that I speak about a whole lot. When will they learn?
I had found out that Andre, her boyfriend, was promising people jobs in our administration, promising people appointments on different commissions and boards from out of the mouths of people that told me they were promised positions, they were promised board positions, and at the mouth of what they would always, Andre, that was who they would say, Andre promised me this.
Webb.
That sounds like pay for play and pretty sloppily done. I'm sure in politics, this happens probably every single day, but you don't want to be so sloppy with it where you're just promising everyone everything, or to a point where people are looking at you as the gatekeeper to the mayor, especially is not a good look. So Jones is going around promising key positions within the administration and on important city boards to those who support Thao's campaign. That is the definition of a pay-to-play scheme. Hey, listen, you can get this cushy job if you just help out a little bit.
Claims Jones was controlling and calling the shots. She says Thao went along with him.
It's sad. He's making her do things, pushing her to do things that I don't believe she would do otherwise. I just really don't.
Webb.
I understand that position, but unfortunately, we all have a sense of agency. We all have our own ability to choose and sit down and realize what is right and what is wrong. She is mayor. As much as we could blame Jones, sure, this boyfriend of hers is probably a corrupt person, wants power, but she is allowing it to happen. It is what it is on that one. I don't know. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Says Jones and Thao met when they worked for council member Rebecca Kaplan. Jones was Kaplan's chief of staff and Thao was an intern.
When I first mentioned to Sheng at the house that got raided yesterday that people were coming to me of, what Andre had promised them, and her response to me was, just ignore Andre. You're going to be making close to $200,000. Just ignore it.
And that's the definition of corruption, right? Hey, ignore the illegal, unethical things. But hey, you're going to make 6 figures. So just go along with it. And props to her for quitting that job on New Year's Eve in 2022. She even reported her concerns to the city council and the Public Ethics Commission in early 2023. But without physical evidence, her complaints didn't go too far. But eventually, the FBI stepped in.
And it just hurt my heart. Like, I just looked at her and I told her, I don't care about the money.
After Thao won the election in November, Webb says she resigned on New Year's Eve 2022. She says in early 2023, she complained to the city council and the Public Ethics Commission about the pay-to-play allegation. She says the council ignored her complaint. Thao at the time denied all the accusations, telling others Webb was disgruntled, had mental health issues, and made up lies.
What sense would it make that I would help her win the election, run her transition team, and then all of a sudden I just lose my mind?
Yeah.
That's always a very easy way to dismiss someone by calling them crazy. That's a very easy tactic to use. But like she said, she was able to get her elected, help her with her transition team, and then all of a sudden she's disgruntled and she lost her mind. It's unlikely.
Webb says the FBI agents did not offer specifics about their investigation at the time, and she doesn't know if the FBI raid is related to the pay-to-play allegation. The FBI remains tight-lipped about the raid at Thao's home.
But let's get back to the company that has a lot of campaign money laundering schemes, the company that worked with Sheng Thao, Cal Waste Solutions. They're suspected of being involved in a campaign money laundering scheme. If you're wondering what that means, essentially, it's about using straw donors to funnel more money into political campaigns than what's illegally allowed. So let's play a little bit of video and I explain exactly what that means.
Tonight at 5:30, following the FBI raid of her home, Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao has maintained her innocence along with Cal Waste Solutions, the recycling company that was also raided.
Well, it turns out Cal Waste Solutions has been the subject of a suspected campaign money laundering investigation for several years now. KRON4's Dan Kerman reports.
When the FBI raided Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao's home last week, that was just one of 4 locations. The other 3 included Cal Waste Solutions, which provides recycling services for the city of Oakland. Also, the homes of 2 members of the Duong family, which owns and manages that company. It turns out Cal Waste Solutions has been under investigation since 2019 for suspected campaign money laundering. Court documents obtained from Oakland's Public Ethics Commission alleges the laundering scheme spans several election cycles and involves the use of multiple straw donors making contributions to several candidate-controlled committees.
Not good. That's pretty bad. So what is straw donors for those who may not know? Imagine you want to give more money to your favorite political candidate than what the law allows. You can't just hand over a big stack of cash because there's limits to how much one person can donate. So you get a little creative. You ask your friends, your family, and maybe even some coworkers to donate on your behalf. You give them the money. They write the checks in their names, and it looks like a bunch of different people are donating small amounts of money to your political candidate. But in reality, it's all your money. It's all being funneled through them. The people who write the checks are called straw donors. Straw donors are used to getting around donation limits and make it look like lots of people are supporting the candidate, when in reality, it's just one person or a group just trying to buy more influence. It's a sneaky way to bend the rules of campaign finance.
Mayor Thao is just one of several Oakland politicians to receive these contributions from the straw donors, many of whom the Ethics Commission alleges didn't have the funds to make these donations until a large cash deposit was made just before or after writing the check. Days after the FBI raid, Mayor Thao maintained her innocence. A spokesman for Cal Waste Solutions also indicated the company has done nothing wrong. While several parties are the same, it's unknown if the FBI is investigating the same thing as Oakland's Public Ethics Commission. But if so, political analysts say the FBI's involvement kicks this to a new level.
It's one thing if it's a campaign finance violation, but where the FBI comes involved is that it's more than just a campaign finance violation. There is some nexus to public integrity or public corruption that they're trying to look for. Doesn't mean that it exists. Doesn't mean that it's there. But they're clearly looking for it.
So everyone is watching to see what the FBI finds. Will they uncover a tangled web of corruption, or will Sheng Thao or Mayor Thao and Cal Waste Solutions be vindicated? I'm gonna guess they will not be vindicated. It looks like Webb, the former staffer, knew about this situation years ago. It looks like Cal Waste Solutions has been doing this type of stuff for years. It looks like they got caught. So right now, I'm sure Oakland is buzzing with speculation and anticipation, because at the same time, they're also looking to recall Sheng Thao because she's a terrible mayor. We will stick around and see what happens next. What do you guys think about this situation? Put in the comments below. Do you live in Oakland? Let me know. Email me. Let me know how things are over there. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I see you guys in the next video.